Hi, it is Tootie Tagerly coming to you from San Francisco, California at noon on a Tuesday. I'm actually hitting and making my weekly live time today, so I'm very, very proud of that. So today we're going to talk briefly about leading in shades of gray, and this has nothing to do with 50 Shades of Gray. It is really about thinking. As someone who is a planner, who wants to control, who can get really, really uncomfortable with ambiguity, despite being a designer, it can be really comforting to live in a world of black or white, to know that it's either going to be this or that. And and that's the world that I strive for, that I try to make happen when I'm dealing with a lot of personal anxiety. One of the things that I've found is that when I'm feeling especially stressed or overwhelmed, I gravitate towards my daughter's adult books. Um, right now, I'm reading Marissa Meyer's Renegade series because you always know that no matter what, the good guys are gonna win. So it's a nice period of black or white. But as designers, as leaders, as CEOs, as founders in the real world, unfortunately, we live in a world of shades of gray, not black or white. Um, if you ask many people as a very straightforward question, the answer is going to be, well, it depends because we need to look at the data, the context, the people involved, the bigger ecosystem that things live in, because you never know what's going to happen. This past week, there has been, I guess, rumors and tiptoes around recession, both with the war as well as with things happening in the tech world around low earnings and starts of layoffs, with Meta pausing hiring, as well as stories of offers being rescinded for first time college grads, unfortunately. So in this atmosphere of shades of gray, one big question that many, many people think about are, well, is my profession going to be at risk? Is my company, if I'm a startup founder, CEO, is my company going to be at risk? Is my team going to be at risk? Am I going to have to lay off people? Or is my personal job going to be at risk? And I'm sure many of us think about this, especially as the war goes long or as the stock market plummets. So, talking about tips for how we keep leading through shades of gray. The first one, which will sound seemingly simplistic, but we're going to dive into it, is know what you want with your company, team, or job right now. And this answer is going to be different for different people. But one of the ways to destigmatize risk, be more comfortable with that question of, oh my gosh, is my company, team, or job going to be at risk, is first to go inward and know what it is that you really want. Are you at this particular job because you want to step up to a different title? Maybe this is the job that is going to transition you from IC to manager. Maybe this is the job where when you put in the work, you're going to be elevated to the C-suite and be ahead of for the first time. Maybe you're going to get to have a seat finally on the board of directors. Maybe it's an observing seat. Maybe it's a legitimate seat. So one thing that people want is often this step up to a different title. A second thing that many people want is, hey, it's the security. It's the security of a paycheck. Maybe this period in my life, I'm focused on other things, whether it's taking care of family, whether it's focusing on young kids. Maybe it's good enough to have a secure paycheck. Maybe it's working on a passion on the side. Another thing that people often want is, well, I I want to work on a particular project. I built this company because we want to create this really cool product that's maybe meaningful, that's sustainable, that's going to impact people's lives. Maybe I built this company because I want to try to change and transform an antiquated industry. Maybe I built this company because there's a problem and maybe it has some like really personal origins that I want to change. On another angle, Maybe you're working at this job because you want to implement or change the way things work. There's a new culture or process or something that's going to change. Maybe it's as simple as like, I want to do really cool work. I want to code something. I want to build something. I want to create something that's never been done. So it's still risky. It's still, you may have your company, team, or job be at risk. You might not be able to fundraise and get that money, but start with the first principles, which is know why you're here for this period of time. And it's going to change. It's going to change with each period of your life. It's changed for many people around COVID already. So that's the first tip for how to lead with the shades of gray and ambiguity. Be crystal clear about what you are doing, I'd say this quarter, maybe this year with your company, team, or job. Second tip around leading in shades of gray is focusing on the people. Relationships last way beyond jobs. When you look at the long game of an entire career, an entire lifetime, each day you get to pick how you're going to show up and how you're going to build trust and influence with the people around you. You can build it through the projects you do, through how you show up in a meeting, through your ideas, through how you simply are. Are you curious? Are you compassionate? Are you kind? Um, and then you can see what people you get energy back from. So if there are shades of gray, just know that people are complicated. We all are. Think back to what happens over a Thanksgiving dinner, an Eid dinner, a holiday, childhood holiday family dinner, because people are complicated. But know which are the ones that you want to have lifelong sustaining relationships with. You might not know, you might just have hypotheses and experiments, but something that helps when you're dealing with ambiguity and trying to lead through shades of gray is look for the glimmers, look for the sparks and bright spots of, well, these are the people who I want to be on this journey with me. And here's how I want to show up if I focus on relationships and people. And that's what's going to last way beyond a job. All right, finally, how to work with ambiguity and these shades of gray is create a structure. Take it from me, I'm a planner. It does help to have a plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, to have these. Structure helps us, calendars helps us. It helps create a little bit of sense of, okay, this is what I'm going to do tomorrow. This is what I'm going to do next week. And when you create structures and you do it from a place of leadership and calmness, it's going to help you because there's going to be times when you're triggered, when you're frantic, when you're chaotic. But having a structure to lean back on, having these plans is really going to help. But the second part of this is, I think, is the key. Create the plans, but hold them lightly. Hold them as experiments. Hold them that, like, you got to make plans because you got to go forward. But just know that they're likely going to change because we live in a world of complexity and shades of gray. But yet you still got to hold it as an experiment. This is my hypothesis. This is what I'm going to go forward with. So create the structure. It'll help you and know that it'll change. All right. So this was talking about how to lead with shades of gray in this period of perhaps a recession, perhaps job uncertainty. Know for this quarter, this year, why is it that you are working? What is it that you want for your startup, for your company, for your team, or your job? Focus on the people and the relationships long term. That's going to give you the little sparks of energy in each day. And that's also going to help create a roadmap for, like, these are the people you want around you with you, or you might want around with you through the course of a career. And then finally, create structure. It helps you hold the space and how to go forward, but hold it lightly. Know that you have a plan, but also know that it could change. All right, that's it for today's live. I will see you next week.